Hola.
It doesn't matter, rain or shine, these people are gonna get their parade in. And it's raining. Well, El Dia de los Muertos is almost here. I'm so excited, I can't wait. There's a lot of people, there's music going on. There was a trio playing in the Zocalo today. A couple days ago there was an orchestra, but yeah, the place is well populated. I am seriously contemplating getting my face painted. I don't know, I think I might be too old for that. What do you think? You know, with all the paint, it might make me look a little younger. Yeah, I don't think so. So today is tripod day, and I think I got some good shots, but you know, there was a wind that kicked up and I'm afraid it's gonna rain on me and my equipment, so I'm gonna scurry back to the hotel. I'm about a quarter of a mile back, so I hope it doesn't open up on me. I got some good shots though, I think. You be the judge. Oh, sorry, there's the wind. All right, so I'm 3 blocks from the hotel. I had to stop for a break, and this kind of ticks me off. You know, I'm a licensed drone pilot, and there's a guy with a drone up there. It's a Phantom 3. I used to have that, and he's flying over people. It's pretty irresponsible. You know, if he loses control or power and that thing's gonna fall, it's gonna fall on somebody with blades turning. So, yeah. I'm eager to get rid of this tripod and camera. For your information, the Timeless Travel Club's hiring. If anybody wants to come and be my roadie, we have an opening. Mind you, there's no pay. You have to pay for your own meals, flights, everything. So I'm gonna show you a clip. There's a couple that I met. They're huge YouTubers. They're Tangerine Travels. Their names are Jordan and Maddie, and they are the nicest couple. They actually hung out with me a couple days, which is nice of them because they're a young couple. You know, why would they want to hang with an old guy like me? But I noticed they gave me a plug on their YouTube channel, and my viewership has spiked over 100 viewers in half a day. So Maddie, Jordan, thank you so much. I owe you dinner, all right? And I just don't say that. So if I see you again, or actually I'll just send you a message and I'll invite you for dinner on the Timeless Travel Club. Okay everybody, so there's a lot of firsts when you're a YouTuber, and I had a first today. Actually it was yesterday when I met a couple of fellow YouTubers. Actually I'm kind of starstruck because they're big time. So I just want you to introduce yourselves to my audience, my little great audience, and tell me what you guys like about Oaxaca.
Alrighty. So we're Jordan and Maddie from Tangerine Travels. Want to tell them about Oaxaca?
Oaxaca! Oh, I love this place. This has got to be one of my favorite places that we've ever visited in Mexico. Specifically Oaxaca City, and we've sort of branched out a little bit and going to the surrounding towns. But there's so much to love. It is so culture rich between the food and the people and the customs and the different traditions that unfold, like Dia de Muertos, which we're experiencing right now.
I'm totally obsessed with the food here. I cannot get enough of it. I'm eating mole for every meal, and I thought I hated mole before coming to Oaxaca.
How many plates of mole have you had?
In 3 days, at least 5.
So he's not hungry, he's eating mole.
He may not look it, but he's Mexican. So I'll leave a link, Tangerine Travels, into the description. Check him out. Everybody does. Upon the arrival of Dia de Muertos comes a flood of international tourists, but in my opinion, it wasn't overwhelming. There are basically 2 main tourist areas in Oaxaca. The plaza at the Templo de Santo Domingo, where you can find rows of vendors for souvenirs and clothes, and there are restaurants. The other area is the Zócalo, where all the activities occur. The cornerstone is the beautiful cathedral. Connecting the 2 areas is Calle Manuel Garcia, which is filled with upscale hotels, restaurants, galleries, and color, with the assorted street vendors along the way. The area is always very much alive and very easy to navigate. You guys look awesome. Love the hats.
Ánimas, amigas mías, perfectas en caridad, que por las penas que sufre la gloria juraré.
Él me enseñó a hacerle frente, él me enseñó el buen camino y a vivir como la gente.
All right, everyone. So last night was my first experience of the Dia de Muertos in Mexico, and I felt compelled. The first thing I did when I got back to my hotel was I jotted some notes down because I didn't want to forget the details of my experience that I wanted to share with you all. I took a tour there. It cost 30 American dollars, which is, you know, it's not cheap. I was, Well, guys, I hate to report negatively on a tour. I know they mean well, but I would hate for one of my ancestors to be buried in a cemetery that they've turned into it's like a county fair here. They ought to just bring in floodlights so everybody can see where they're going. It's yeah. Sorry, I'm not enjoying this one. Yeah, honestly, when we arrived here, I knew there was going to be a lot of people. Wasn't sure what to expect, especially when I come upon this area here, which is just a tourist trap. That's all it is. So, yeah. They took us to a small town called Jojocoatlan, and I was expecting, you know, myself as a tourist and several other tourists walking through a grave site with, you know, other tourists, but hordes of tourists is the correct word. It was incredible. This grave site was overrun with tourists, taking pictures, people just trampling over graves, and I understand it. It's dark, the ground is uneven, and sometimes, you know, I'm sure I went over a couple graves and didn't even know about it. But people getting into the locals' faces with their huge cameras, and you know, I guess that makes me a hypocrite because you saw I got some footage, but you know, I made an effort to not be intrusive. Most of my shots, I tried to get the beauty of the gravesite the decorations. There was entertainers, there was musicians there that made the place lively. I loved that part of it. But as far as the locals, I tried to keep my distance. I tried to be as invisible as possible, you know, and I took a small camera that doesn't work well at night. But yeah, some of these people, I'm really embarrassed for the tourists. But you know, you saw my footage. You tell me if you thought I was intrusive or not, or disrespectful is the right word I should use. And I have to say, with regards to the locals out there, the families that spent the entire night, a couple nights out there with their loved ones, not once did I see them be frustrated, annoyed, angry at the tourists infringing on their celebration, the celebration of their family members. You know, when we first walked in, my first clue was the huge stage and an orchestra. There's an orchestra here. That's pretty cool, unusual, kind of cool. Which I was impressed with. I loved listening to them. The entertainment was first class. Getting to and from, there were walkways. There were so many people there. I don't want to call it walking. We were shuffling. They were so packed, shoulder to shoulder with people. And then, to top it all off, the governor of Oaxaca decides to make an appearance. And the movement stopped for a long period of time. But the governor shows up, and he's a handsome, strapping young man. All the women wanted to take selfies with him, and it took a while. We didn't start moving again until, I don't know where he went, but he finally left, and we started shuffling again. I was so happy to at least shuffle. But I have to say, I have to give kudos to the tour company that took us out there. There was 27 of us, which fit in 2 vans. So with 20 people, I think there were more than 5 tour guides. Considering the task at hand, they did a great job keeping us all informed, keeping us all together. They had the candle ornament on a stick. We always saw where they were. There's a couple times where I got separated because the shuffling crowd that I was with wanted to go left, and I was trying to go, wanted to go left, and I was trying to go right. And so they were always keeping an eye on us. And of course, they were always feeding us a mezcal, which I don't know if that was a good idea or not. But no, it was good quality mezcal. Tip of the day, if you go on one of these tours that feed you mezcal, they give you a little plastic cup, don't toss it, keep that with you, because throughout the tour, they are happily filling your little mezcal cup. One of the tour guides has a pack of cups, but if you get separated from him, they're not going to let you drink out of the bottle, so save your cup. I put mine in my pocket. There was one of the tour guides, they must have let him carry the bottle, but he was not very responsible with it because he was hammered towards the end. In fact, you know, at the end, I don't remember seeing him anymore. I think they removed him from the tour, but yeah, that was part of the entertainment. The second half of the tour, they took us to a neighboring smaller gravesite, and I enjoyed that much better. It was tranquilo. It was respectful. I could have been good with just going there. Doing it again, I would hire a cab, and I would go out there to that same gravesite the day before, or maybe I might even go tomorrow when most of the tourists leave camp. I don't know what you can use with this information. I hope I don't sound too negative, but I wanted everybody to know and not be surprised like I was surprised. I think the only thing that this tour company could have done better is most of my fellow tourists are females, and they could have done a better job in getting these ladies to the restroom, because on site they've got the portable ones, which I used, and I used it holding my breath. They were kind of bad. So these ladies, they were not gonna step foot in there. So on the way back, all they wanted, they did not want to go back to the Zocalo home base. They wanted to stop at a Pemex to go pee. So word of advice for those tour companies out there, keep those ladies in mind. They have needs. But that was my experience for Dia de Muertos. I hope you have a good experience. I still have, I think, 4 days in Oaxaca. So I'll be happy to share some more video with you from this glorious city during this glorious celebration of Dia de Muertos.